Let's get started. What is SmartView? SmartView is the Oracle Hyperion Universal User Interface into most of the Oracle Hyperion applications, like planning and financial management, Essbase, interactive reporting, production reporting, financial reporting, and web analysis. This webinar is limited to a discussion of how SmartView interacts with Essbase and how it differs from the Essbase spreadsheet add-in. From an Essbase perspective, SmartView is much like the add-in, but with more functionality and greater reach. When was SmartView introduced? From an Essbase perspective, SmartView was introduced in Essbase 7. However, it had limited functionality at that time. It interacted with fewer products and did not import data into Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, and Outlook. It was also an extra cost feature similar to the spreadsheet toolkit in Essbase 7. For these reasons, it was adopted by only a small percentage of customers. Why was SmartView developed? It allows the user to use one interface to interact with many products, rather than having to learn a new user interface for each one. As you will see later, it also allows you to export Essbase data created in a SmartView report to Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, and Outlook documents. It's not just a copy of an Excel table into Word, it copies the actual dynamic data points from the database into these documents, meaning if the data changes in the database, it can be refreshed with the updated data within the document. There are also functions that give access to financial management and Essbase that are available in Word, PowerPoint, and Outlook, but these are not a part of this webinar. Presumably, you are interested in SmartView now because it comes bundled with System 9 and you are hearing more about it. Its greater functionality and Oracle's commitment to it as the product of the future are giving it greater acceptance in the user community. SmartView is an add-in to Excel just like the spreadsheet add-in. It has its own menu under the selection Hyperion and its own toolbar. A few more points before we conclude this webinar. Can you use both SmartView and the add-in at the same time? I wouldn't recommend it, but if you do, you cannot connect to both SmartView and the add-in on the same sheet. Oracle also suggests that you check the add-in global option, limit to connected sheets, if you want to use double-click and right-click functionality within both the add-in and SmartView. Despite this recommendation, I've still obtained erroneous results when double-clicking in certain cases, so be prepared for possible add-in and SmartView confusion when double-clicking and right-clicking. Can I take a report created by the add-in and then connect to SmartView and use the refresh command and get the correct data? Well, sometimes yes and sometimes no. You have to try it with your reports. My limited testing has shown that very simple reports work, but those with any complexity did not refresh properly. Can I take a report created with SmartView and then connect to the add-in and use the retrieve command and get the correct data? Well, since the page headings are in the point of view in SmartView and not in the grid, the add-in ignores the point of view and simply retrieves the top member of each dimension that does not exist in the report. If those members happen to match those in the point of view, then yes, it does work properly. But in many cases, that would not be the case, and the report created by the add-in would not be the same report as created by SmartView. So we're down to the final question. Should you use SmartView or the add-in? Well, SmartView is the tool of the future for Oracle. If you want one user interface for all applications, like Essbase Planning, HFM, etc., then use SmartView. If you want to connect to multiple types of application databases rather than just Essbase, use SmartView. If you want to connect to an Oracle OLAP database, use SmartView. And if you want to export your Essbase data and update it dynamically within Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, and Outlook, then yes, use SmartView.